side. Now, if you take this thing out in the middle, it looks like a hexagon. So here, you have different types of lighting. So this is again after taking the photo. Okay, you can still edit. Okay, so this is natural light. You can change it. Make it studio light. Now, as you can see here, it's brighter, especially on her face. Because the yellow box, if you can see, that's the area of focus. And I am focusing on her face at the moment. Okay? Now, what if it's contour? Now, according to what we see here, the sphere inside the cube, there is more shadow underneath. Yeah? So you can see it from her jawline as well. So, studio versus contour. Yeah? And then there's also stage light. It's quite nice actually. And then you have stage light mode. And then high key light mode. Right? So again, you can change it even after taking the photo. This is portrait mode. Alright? Now I'm gonna go back to studio light. If you feel that the effect is too much, the intensity is too much, you always have a scale underneath and you can change the intensity of the effect. Now, how do we adjust focus? Alright. Again, yellow box, area of focus. So if ever you're going to change the area of focus, I can tap, for example, at the window. I'm going to tap at the window instead of her face. There you go. So where's the focus now? Right? So it depends what is this yellow square? Okay, so now I cannot see the model. Now, my subject is the background. Yeah, if you think about it. What other way can you adjust focus? Now, we're done with portrait lighting. Let's go and tap on the circle with the letter F inside. Alright? So this, what was F is focal point or depth of field. Okay? This is the strength of how blurred the background is. So the lower the number, 4.5, it depends on your photo what number that is. But the lower the number, the more blurred the background is going to be. The higher the number, you can actually turn it off and both will be focused. Okay? So if I lower the number, lower this one. I didn't take this photo here. I would go between 3 to 5. Okay? Just to have that feel of realism. Because if it's too blurred, it can look like, sometimes it can look like you stuck a photo on a background. Yeah? So just be careful of having too much fun in changing your focus. Okay? So that's that. And then you have exposure. How do we change exposure? Now, exposure is the amount of light that enters your lens the time that you're taking the photo. How do you change that after taking the photo? You have adjust. These are very important. Adjust. And you're going to see the plus and minus sign. Looks like a battery. This is exposure. Amount of light that enters your lens. Let's change it. You want it a bit darker. Let's make it a bit darker. And you can see that even if I'm lowering down the exposure, it's not actually ruining the photo. It still looks nice, right? So you're just changing the mood a little bit.
What's the name?
Now, be careful of editing your photo and making it underexposed, meaning too dark, or overexposed, meaning too bright. Okay? Don't think about the value too much because even if it's 16 or negative 11, there will be change. Okay? So that's how you change exposure. Again, this exposure, you can apply this to any photos that you have, even videos, you can apply it. The circle with the F, let me go back to portrait. The circle with the F, you can only do this in cinematic and portrait mode photos. So that's that. And the hexagon that you see beside it, only in portrait and cinematic mode. Okay, so it depends. The symbols that you see when you're editing something, it depends on what mode you took that. Okay, so that's exposure. Let's see the agenda again. I'm not missing out anything. Portrait lighting, adjust focus and exposure. Yes, we did that. Now I'm gonna move on to choose live photo, key photo. What is a live photo? Some people feel it can be irritating. It can be irritating if you're not using it right. So when are you going to use live photo? You're going to use it if you have a subject that keeps moving. Okay? For example, so if I tap and hold on this photo, it's going to move. Okay? It even takes the sound. So I'm going to edit this live photo. See how you're seeing the F again? So again, you can change the background, how blurred it is, okay? Now you know what that means. Now even the hexagon, okay? Now you know what that means. Now let's go to live. This is the symbol for live, okay? Now this is what we call, in video, this is what we call timeline. Now again, this is just a photo. The use of this is taking the exact moment. For example, I don't like this shot. Let me choose another shot.
Wow.
Maybe this. This looks better for me at least. So I will stop there and wait for make key photo, and I will make this as my main photo. Okay. So this is great for jump shots. Okay. This is this. When you do jump shots, this is what you use it for. Okay. Maybe kids laughing or something like that. But you take that perfect, the perfect laughter or something, yeah? So that's how you properly use a live mode, okay? And that's the eccentric circle. Usually when you're in the camera, you're gonna find it at the top right. See the eccentric circle? Live. Yeah. I usually turn it off, but it's always on when I take photos of animals, for example, of my pets. They keep moving, right? So that's how you change it. And then another tip I'm going to share you here is, so again, you're going to find the type of photo at the top left. It says live, right? So I can change, I will tap on live, and I can change it to have a little bit of animation. So if I want look, for example, I'm going to select look, okay? This is how look looks like. And then there's bounce. And then there's low exposure. Now, low exposure is not for everything. Let me see if I can find this one. Okay. You see, this one is live. Okay, I'm gonna select this as a low exposure. Okay, it's not. Let me deselect. Live. This one. Yes. Anyway, what does low exposure do? Low exposure, it combines all the frames. Okay, that's low exposure. Not sure why my technology is not working correctly, but it's gonna look a little bit faded. Okay, because it's joining all the frames together. Okay, so that is a little bit of tip for animation when it comes to live photos. Now, lastly is cinematic. Okay, have you taken cinematic videos? Yeah, do you know that you can edit it after?
No.
Probably you haven't tried it, right? I'm going to show you. So for example, cinematic. So cinematic is like portrait, but in video form. Okay? So you have a subject to her, and then when she looks at us again, then the focus shifts to her. Alright? Now what if that's not what you want? Okay? I'm going to tap on edit. Again, the yellow box. So again, yellow box, area of focus. Now, what I do here, how do I edit a cinematic mode? I do the play and pause method. I play, and then I pause when I want to change something. So I'm going to play, pause, and you see the white box? It means I can shift it. Okay, so I can still change the focus even after taking the video. Yeah? So play. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna put it back to the second person. Play. And before she turns, I'm gonna pause and put it back on her. There you go. So now you will also see some dots. The yellow dots mean I changed something. The white dots are, it's the phone deciding who to focus on. Okay? That's how you change. And then don't forget, you have filters and styles. You can actually change the mood if you need to. Okay? I love using dramatic because it goes well with cinematic. Yeah, but lessen lessen the intensity a bit, just a bit, okay? Because you don't want it to look too dark. So those are my tips for you when it comes to editing. Now, my bonus tip for you guys before I move on to my next tip in a bit is clean up. So this will work if you have, if I'm not mistaken, 15 above, okay? So clean up is part of Apple Intelligence, wherein it removes unnecessary things in your photo, okay? Your phone might not have this, but I'm gonna show it anyway. So for example, I didn't take this. So for example, let's see. Where's that photo I always use? Ah, this one. Okay. Nice outfit in pink. Let me edit. Okay. Clean up looks like this. Okay. Not all phones might have it, but the latest ones will do. Clean up looks like an eraser. Now, I know he's looking good there, but let me clean it up a bit because I just want the landscape itself. So I'm gonna brush on him, and ta-da! Bye-bye. But don't worry, if you want it back, you can just reset, okay? Reset is just there. Top. Okay, he's back. So there's one more. I kind of like this one. So imagine if you're traveling and then there's a lot of people behind you. You can just clean them up. So for example, let's do this one. Edit, clean up. Let's brush. Bye-bye. Cool, no? So have a look. Just make sure you are in the latest iOS update. Okay? And you might, most probably you'll have this one, clean up. Alright? I'm gonna reset again. I don't want her to go. There you go. So those are my tips for you guys. Thank you so